Hi, I'm Isabel Fox, and here's what's in my bag as a high-end escort who has slept with more than 500 men for money. This bag has been to more hotels than most travel influencers, and here is everything inside it. But before I show you what I keep in it, there are actually 3 different types of bookings in sex work, and each one requires a different packing strategy. There are in-call, out-call, and parlor bookings in sex work, and I have done them all. So in in-call, it is when you're working from your own location, kind of like your own apartment or a place that you rent. This could be permanent or it might be temporary, like a hotel room or an Airbnb. The advantage is that you can stock up on everything and have your whole setup ready, meaning you don't really need this bag. But the downside is you have to create the entire ambience, have everything on hand, and fund it yourself. This definitely requires the most preparation. Outcall is when you go to the client's hotel or their residence, and this is what I'm showing you today because it is the most portable. You just show up with yourself and your bag, but the challenge is that you have to fit everything you might need into one bag. So you have to be really strategic about what you're going to bring. And then there is working at a parlor, also known as a brothel. You usually have a locker where you can store your stuff, but you carry a bag like this with you through the whole shift, like 8 to 12 hours. On busy nights, you don't have time to keep running back to your locker because time equals money. So you need a portable kit that has everything you might need for multiple bookings in a row. Okay, so now let me show you what I bring in an outcall and parlor scenario. Most people pack a laptop for work, but I pack 4 different types of condoms, and not just any condoms. I have like every size known to man. So I have small, I have regular, I have extra large for the lucky guys, and I have strawberry flavored condoms. I'll explain why in just a moment. I used to bring just a couple of them, but then I would run out at the worst possible moment. So that is why I now bring at least 5 of every size, because you just never know when a client will extend or when they'll go through multiple rounds, or maybe even when the condom might break. And so you'll need to put on a fresh one. These are my 4 favorite brands. First there is 4 Seasons, this white packet with purple writing. This is a boutique brand called Moments. You probably haven't heard of them. I like their tight fit condoms for the smaller size guys. No judgment, it really is what you do with it that counts. But the real MVP is Skin. If you know, you know. It is probably the thinnest feeling. So if I can find those, that is always what I'm bringing. Now, this red one has a very special purpose. If I am on my period or I'm close to it and worried that it's gonna come through, I use these strawberry condoms because they're actually red in color and they help to hide any uncomfortable leakage from my client. They're a classic staple that is needed. Next up is lube. This is essential. I usually keep inside a sealed bag inside my main bag because the last thing you need is lube exploding all over your stuff. I have learned that the hard way. But anyway, I use this water-based one called Wet Stuff. It's just this white bottle with kind of goldish brown writing, and you can find it at any supermarket or online. I like it because it's really easy to use. No one has ever had a reaction to it. It doesn't leave residue on your body. Some people prefer silicone-based lubes. There's this brand called Pure because they last longer, but I just don't love how they feel afterwards. Most clients do not like to know that you've just been with someone else before them. So this one is a huge lifesaver. These are intimate wipes. So I would often go from one appointment straight to another, and I would need to get ready in a rush. So I would bring these because sometimes I would need to freshen up my intimate areas between clients and also sometimes to fix my face. And I use this brand FemFresh because it helps keep my pH balanced down there, and it really decreases the likelihood of thrush. Getting thrush in this job is such a bummer because we need to use our vaginas for a living. If I hadn't had time to shower at the end of one appointment before going to the next, then at the start of the next appointment, what I would usually do is shower with the client and make it part of the fun. That way I'm clean before we get down to it, and he is none the wiser. Over the years, I also realized that most men stink. Sorry guys, but it's true. So I think this is probably my most important thing. Mouthwash. I use Listerine Spearmint. It's just a normal brand. I buy big bottles of it usually, and I used to use different brands, but they would leave this weird aftertaste, not pleasant for either of us. So I switched to this Spearmint and I've never looked back. It gives fresh breath, it's professional, it's giving I care about oral hygiene, and so should you, and that's sexy. All right, this is something that if you don't know, now you know. Some escorts don't work during their period, but many of us do. So we use period sponges. You can buy proper ones like these online, or you can actually go to a pharmacy and get a natural sea sponge. You just push them up inside yourself and you can continue to work, and the client is none the wiser. This was a total game changer for me because I used to have to turn down bookings during that time and lose money. But now with these, I was able to start working whenever and wherever I wanted to. Now, early on in my career, I did not know anything about how to present my services as an offer. So I would just show up with nothing but myself. But then some clients would ask, do you have any toys? So now I always carry toys with me. Here are the basic 3 that are worth having. This is just a standard vibrator. It is a good one to press on a woman's clitoris because it has this special part during penetration, especially when you're in doggy. Then here are some handcuffs. I'm very happy to be restrained provided I feel comfortable with the client and I know I can get out of them easily. Plus these are really cute to look at and a real cinch to get out of. This last toy here is for men. It is a cock ring and a prostate massage. Most men really love having their prostates played with, even if they don't want to admit it. There's also a ton of other fun sex toys you can get on the market, stuff like mini anal vibrators, anal beads. Anal play just continues to become increasingly more popular over the years, so they're always a great investment. Next up, we have lingerie. I always bring a change of lingerie. Anytime I want to do a costume change, I'll use my favorite pieces. This is my favorite set right now. I bought it on Valentine's Day from Honey Birdette. Almost every working girl has a Honey Birdette set in her arsenal. I used to wear just one outfit the whole booking, but then sometimes it would get dirty or sweaty. That is why I bring options. If a client extends out of nowhere, then changing into fresh lingerie can just be a really good surprise to give him. This red strappy set of mine is really popular. I actually bought it on Amazon for next to nothing. I used to invest a lot of money in lingerie before I realized I could save plenty on cheaper stuff that still looks great. I mean, it only ends up on the floor pretty quickly anyway. Lastly, if I have space, I will throw in a schoolgirl costume. It is hands down the most commonly requested outfit of all time. Now I know some people get worried. They think that men must be thinking inappropriate things if they ask for something like this, but in my experience, this outfit is really about nostalgia, about men thinking about the version of themselves when they were the most alive, the most virile. Or like most of us, they remember that high school crush they once had that they were just too afraid to act on. In the over 500 men I saw and the countless requests I had for this look, I never once worried that anything untoward was going on in a man's mind. The 8th item I can't go without is perfume. Obviously you need perfume at all times. I usually arrive smelling amazing, but then things happen and I need to reapply. This is my signature scent right now. It's Goddess by Burberry. This is a mini travel version. Next item is makeup and lip gloss. I carry makeup for touch-ups, nothing crazy, just the essentials. And here's a pro tip. You want to bring lip gloss instead of lipstick. This is my favorite one. If you're doing your job well and you're wearing lipstick, it is going to end up all over you and all over your client. So lip gloss is just much easier to manage and it always looks fresh. Now this isn't in my bag, but I always arrive wearing a large coat. You want to be discreet. You do not want to show up in stilettos, a tight dress, big hair, and hoop earrings if you're going to a business hotel on a Tuesday afternoon. You have to dress for the occasion. If it is a Saturday night at a 5-star hotel with a popular bar, then sure, you can arrive glammed up, but otherwise, read the situation or read the hotel lobby, I guess. And then I have my wallet. Obviously you need a wallet, but this is actually a special wallet because this is my fees wallet. Now I used to just throw cash in my main bag, but then I would be constantly worried about it falling out or someone seeing it. So I got this smaller wallet that has a button and I always put it at the very bottom of my bag. Unfortunately, not everyone has good integrity, so you want to protect what you've earned. This stays with me at all times during a shift at a brothel and from appointment to appointment. Lastly, a hairbrush. This is a little mini travel hairbrush. Now it seems like you should think of needing this ahead of time, but you would not believe how many people don't carry it in their bag. You could have done 5 bookings in a row, but you cannot look like you just did 5 bookings in a row. Therefore, hairbrush. Quick touch-ups between clients so you look bright and sprightly for everybody, so I keep this with me at all times. Now this might seem basic, but a phone charger. I usually don't have my phone charged, but today it's at 50%. You never know when you will get an extension or when you'll need to stay in contact with somebody. You do not want to be stuck using a hotel phone to make personal calls. That is just not a good look. When I used to work at a brothel, I'd have all of the essentials I just showed you, like toys, mouthwash, perfume, a change of lingerie, lip gloss, and a hairbrush, but I would add a few things. So I used to use chicken filler inserts before I got a boob job, and I would keep those in my bag too. I mean, you're competing with other girls and clients make very quick decisions. So I did everything I could to maximize my assets. But obviously you need to pull them out before the actual booking when the client isn't looking. Funny and embarrassing story, I once forgot to do this and I took my bra off in front of a client at the brothel and they dropped on the floor right in front of him. Luckily, men are very easily distracted by blowjobs, so we moved on quickly. But that taught me to always remember to pull them out beforehand. Thank you so much for coming to see what's inside my bag. Stay inspired, stay fashionable, and always bring backup condoms. If you want more content like this and to learn industry secrets on how to become a high-end escort who consistently earns $20,000 to $60,000 a month, then go to isabelfox.co. It has the full system for attracting high-paying clients who respect your boundaries and pay your highest rates.